behind the scenes on my video making. Here's my outfit of the day. This is a tennis skirt from Lululemon. This is a crop top. I may be too old to wear crop tops, but we're doing it. Now, today I'm going to tell you about what I have to do after editing sometimes to make y'all happy. I also want to talk about how little money I make from the YouTube channel, but I want to show you how much work, here's a Kendall, how much work I have to put in to address some of the things that come up. Okay, so today we're going to look at this comment right here that said, "Let me be the 1,000th old rascal to point out how astonishingly bad the captioning is on Jerry's lyrics. Reprehensible." I'm like, oh my God, what did I do, right? Now, I want to explain something. This is for China Cat Sunflower, I Know You Writer, 1972. Now, the way captions work on YouTube is the AI kind of auto-transcribes based on the selected language. I don't need to wear headphones to listen to music, so let's not, because it messes up my hair. I'm still jet lagged. Okay, so to fix this, I have to go into the video. I then go into subtitles. I then go into the automatic captions. So here is the timings. Let me move this over. Here is the timings of every single thing I said in the video. Okay? So once we get to the part of the song, here we go. So at 2:50, for a while at the China. Okay, ready? Shh, you guys can type, but I'm gonna try not to chomp. I'm just gonna. Okay, so I have to go to edit as text. I have to find those words that were messed up, which is this part, this music part. Music, 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 music. Okay, now I have to find the lyrics, China Cat Sunflower lyrics. All right, so here is the actual lyrics of China Cat. Okay, so I need to delete all of this. And then that must be the I Know You Writer part. But see how complicated this is? I have to make sure I don't know. Let's see what happens if I just delete all this and instead put in this. Okay. Then what happens at the... Okay, good. That's getting fixed now. Okay, this is looking a lot better, isn't it? China Cat, China Cat. Okay, now, edit as text. Now we're getting to the I Know You Writer part. China Cat, China Cat. Okay. I Know You Writer, Grateful Dead lyrics. Okay, that's the first path. Wow, they combined it with that. I'm gonna miss you, crazy cat. Lay down. I know you're gonna miss you, writer. Okay, here we go. I know you're gonna miss me, writer. So let's just delete all this part. Delete, 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 paste, edit timings. All right, let's see how it did. If the AI can figure it out. People passed away from the I wish I was okay, I think we fixed it. Hopefully. Okay, so manually overrode those. Let's publish it. So now that should be fixed on the video. Now, I want to point out that I don't make that much money. So I'm going to show you guys what I've made so far on YouTube. Oh wow, I've made $35. So let's analyze this. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to find this sometimes. Okay, earnings. Yeah, so basically I've made $5 on one of my interviews with a deadhead. I made $5 here because someone paid for my membership. But on ads, I don't really make that much money. So as you can see, it's like $1. So really, I'm only really making money when you guys tip me, because the revenue for the actual like clicks isn't that great. Not to mention, I'm actually not able to get any ad revenue from videos with music in them. So anytime I'm playing copyrighted Grateful Dead music and making these 45-minute videos, YouTube can't give me any revenue from it because it belongs to the people who own the Grateful Dead music. Okay? So whoever owns the rights to the Grateful Dead music right now gets their portion of the ads for those videos. And so I'm only earning from those when you guys leave me tips or are members, basically. But I do make money from things like the interviews, these videos. Hopefully I don't get ineligible for like, I'm gonna have to like mute out the music portion of this video even for it to be eligible. So anytime I play copyright music, it just makes it ineligible for revenue. So anyway, so when I get a comment that's like, oh my God, the lyrics are so wrong, just so you know, what that requires me to do is do the process I just showed you, which is to go back into the videos, copy the real lyrics, paste it over, hope that it then syncs automatically, that it picks it up. It seems like it did on this case, which is great. So the software isn't completely useless. It's just when it's listening to singing, it's not as effective at estimating what is said. However, I am very impressed with that. Here's some, if you guys want to see some stats, because there's some statisticians among us. Let me show you guys some cool stats of the channel. Let me move this in a size you guys can all see, because I'm kind of over here. Okay, so just in 28 days, I've had 8,148 watch hours total. I've gained 732 subscribers, and I've made $35. Woo! But if you think about how many hours I've put into my videos, I don't know, I'm making like $0.01 an hour or something, because each video is about 45 minutes long, and I try to publish one every single day, but it takes me at least an hour and a half to produce a 45-minute video. So again, it's really about the tips that help. Otherwise, again, I'm doing this, well, I'm doing it because I love it, honestly, and it's a fun hobby, and I love interacting with all of you guys, but I do have to always think about like, oh, how can I best support my kids? And like, I'm doing this mostly when they're at school and stuff like that, so it's not really taking away from any of their time. But you know, they sometimes they go, Mom, you're whatever, you're pointless. Da, da, da. I'm like, don't you try to talk down my dreams. I'm like, you just have to believe in yourself, and you have to keep trying, and if you work hard enough, eventually good things will come. So I will say it's pretty good that I've been monetized for less than a month, and I've already made $32. So I guess that's the bright way to see it. Plus, I'm not really counting all your generous tips. That really has helped made that to a point where it's like, okay, like I had to buy equipment, like better, I have lighting on right now, I have a camera, I have this microphone, I have my laptop, which was expensive. I bought the more expensive laptop because I needed the space. I have a mouse. Ooh. So I have all these little dongles to connect everything. So basically, I have to keep going until I can make back what I've invested in the channel, which I think I'm close to breaking even now, which is good at least. But yeah, so every time I get a comment, I'm like, oh no, I need to like respect the Grateful Dead. I better go and like spend, 30 minutes editing all these lyrics that were auto edited. The other way, I guess, is I could try to paste lyrics in manually when I'm making the video. It's just more than on the front end. It takes more time to get the video out to you all. So there's no real good solution. But that's the reality of where we are. Like the transcription is pretty good for my talking voice automatically, that I don't have to type my own subtitles. However, for music, it's really bad. What's unfortunate is that the AI is not smart enough to be like, oh wait, this is a famous song. and all those lyrics are on Google, right? Why can't it cross-reference like, oh, she's listening to I Know You Cat Writer, let me just pull the lyrics of China Cat Writer. Like it's so funny that it can't do that, but it can do everything else. So I just want to show you guys like that is the situation. And then if you guys want to see your demographic, how I know that you're all men, look, 88.3% male, and it's only 11% female, or non-specified is the remainder, I guess. And then here's my age demographics. I have the most of y'all are 65 over. And as you can see, it's completely representative. It's so proportionally represented by age. It's like over 65 is 29.5%, 55 to 64 is 25% of you all. So just between these two people, and then let's just add in the 45-year-olds. So that's 19, 25, and 29. Let's just round out to 30. Let's round out to 20, 50. That's 75% of you all are over 45. Add in the 35-year-olds, we're getting to like 81% or something. So 81% of all the viewers of this channel, yep, it's about 80, because like 9.7 and 3, that's about 10%. So basically 90% of the people watching this channel are over 35, and only 10% are under 35. So that sounds about right, but as you can see, I have a much more boomer and elder Gen X audience overall. So that's why I'm really focusing on music that is from your guys' era. Not to mention that, honestly, the music is so good from your era, like, let's be honest, and it lays a foundation for so much of what we have today. And honestly, a lot of music has gotten so much worse. I mean, I saw some meme that was like, back then it was like, I wanna hold your hand. And now the things that they'll say in music are so vile, and like these rap songs, and they'll say some pretty like nasty stuff. It's very vile and very like so overtly sexual. And I'm like, ooh, like where has this society gone to, So I do really appreciate the innocence of some of the music of this era. But then there's also some really interesting things. Like when I was listening to that song, Jack Straw, and it's like, we can share the woman, we can share the wine. I'm like, whoa, is this like polyamory, or is it like is it a reference to literature? Like, I was like, that's a little bit like wild, just because I know I haven't met many men in my life who like to share women. That tends to be they tend to want you to be monogamous, but they don't want to be monogamous to you. I don't know. I just haven't found it yet. I haven't really met those poly guys who are actually like, yeah, like, let's share everything. I don't know. They probably exist, but it's very rare, in my opinion. I just don't think it's very, I think we're biologically programmed against that for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, just because monogamy was important for lineage, knowing who your children were, right? And so how could it be like, oh yeah, we can all sleep with the same women and it doesn't really matter who the father is? It's like, no, it really matters in our societies who the father is. So it's just kind of interesting that I wonder what that's all about. I was thinking about that after listening to it yesterday. I have some interviews coming up with some new Deadheads. I have a lot of stuff to get through before the Dead and Company concert. I'm headed to one of the Fish shows in June, so maybe a second one in July. We'll see. And then, of course, August 1st through 3rd, Dead and Company, we'll finally get to hear all these songs that I've been exploring. Beatles, I still have to get through a lot of Beatles stuff. I have to do Abbey Road, and what is Let It Be, the last album or whatever. But then there's all these singles that came out additionally in between all of the album tracks that maybe I haven't included. So I have to make sure I didn't forget any singles or B-sides. Then I have to go back to the beginning of I Want to Hold Your Hand. And then the most interesting thing is I know Beatles, I know the album with I Want to Hold Your Hand, that one, She Loves You, Yeah, Yeah. I don't really know Beatles for Sale, I realized. The album that's right before Help, I don't know that at all. Like, I was looking at the discography and I'm like, I don't even think I know that many of these songs. So that's going to be interesting to go over. And then I think it's so funny. There's the people who hate when I sing along to the Beatles, and there's the people who love it. it's mostly people like my reaction style. And then if you were like, stop singing, shut up, I'm like, whoa, who would say shut up? That's such a rude word. But I actually might have to make 2 reactions to Abbey Road. I'm going to do the silent reaction. Okay. And then I'm going to do the singing along and having fun reaction. And it's going to be like, trigger warning, singing. You know, like, oh my God, she's having fun. Ah, ah, you know, Medusa, ah, don't get called into the siren. Versus like the silent reaction. Pantomime, which some people prefer, apparently. So anyway, that's the situation. I always have this pretty candle. It smells so nice. But yeah, so I've now fixed the China Cat sunflower, I Know You Writer from my first reaction. Hopefully my second China Cat sunflower from Europe 72 shows up automatically. By the way, they're in different keys, which you'll see when you watch my Europe 72 reactions. So just a little interesting fact. But anyway, thanks for this little workshop behind the scenes with Erica Reacts podcast / Erica Retro Gaming, which is now this music channel should just be called Erica Reacts. But in the meantime, we're going to call it Erica Retro Gaming and Music. Kind of in retro music, don't you think? All right, I will see you all soon.